Rob Thomas.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Welcome to Airing Your Dirty Laundry.
Thank you for having me.
Is this in your, how many, 30 plus years, the first interview you've done in a laundromat?
The first one ever.
How good is that?
Yeah, that's pretty
Still
nice. Still having first, babies.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So normally when I do interviews, I don't really love to talk about things that I can Google the answer to.
Good.
But with you, I'm kind of going to go against my rule of thumb, if that's okay.
All right.
Because I'm of a generation where I'm so familiar with your music, but I was kind of like, I don't know if this sounds wrong, but my parents were huge,
Of course.
you know.
Of course.
Your music was played in our house constantly. Yeah. So I knew a lot about your music, but then having done my research, there was so much about your life that I wasn't aware of. And you've lived such an incredible...
Yeah, and why would you?
well, I don't know. Some people I'm sure do, but for the listeners of my show, if it's all right by you, from till Matchbox started, would you be able to give us like a snapshot of your life prior to music?
So when I was really, really young, my mother, it starts back, it always does.
Yeah.
It starts back with my mother. And she was really, really young. She had my sister, she got married when she was 14, she was Southern. She had my sister at 16, she had me at 21.
Wow.
She, raised us both from a single mom from like a trailer park to like a nice middle-class home, learning computers when computers were a brand new thing, like just really this amazing mind. And then she got cancer when I was like 14, with 12 or 13, 14. And then when it went into remission, I feel like she decided that she wanted to have her childhood during mine. It was like, oh, now she's like, I survived this. I'm going to go out now and live.
Yeah.
And so that kind of left me in the lurch, and then that left me at home. And so I wound up leaving home at like an early age. I was like maybe 17.
Which is so young.
Like hitchhiking around not the whole country, but the southeast of the country, like
and
the
again,
Carolinas
at
and
a
Florida.
time where like phones didn't exist, and like
Totally,
in this
yeah.
world where like, that's quite, you can't get in contact with people.
Yeah, I remember, it's funny you say that, because I remember I left and I had like, like a folder you had in school. And I had one folder that I'd drawn little boxes, and each box had a phone number of someone that I knew.
Wow.
So like I could ever reach out to them, while I was out on the road. It was like, I've known people that have had real hardship and homelessness and stuff in their life. And so I don't want to make this akin to that.
Yeah, okay.
In the sense of like, it was a self-imposed, I needed to go figure something out, and I went out to find it.
Yeah.
Like looking back, if I had had a traditional sense in any way, I wouldn't have wound up where I'm at now.
Well, that's why I wanted
a really
to
nice
talk.
job.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you to tell me, because I feel like I can't talk about your music without referencing this. Do you know what I mean? Because it all comes from this growth of who you were.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it, and that's the only way I stumbled into it.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to figure out, like we all are at that age, you're trying to figure out who you are. And I stumbled into an older group. Like I was in like high school freshman, which is like ninth grade. I'm not sure how you guys do it.
Yeah.
And they had just graduated.
Yeah.
And like they were an older group, and I kind of stumbled in and started singing, and I just felt seen. And I felt a connection.
What were you singing? Like just songs
I was
that
singing
already
their
written?
songs.
Or?
Yeah, they weren't
Cool.
my songs. It was one of the guys was a songwriter, and I was just singing those. And we were doing like 80s covers, like a lot of like Depeche Mode, like
cool.
80s alt rock. It was kind of like the vibe. But it was just like I felt like, oh, this feels right to me, and these people feel right to me. There was a camaraderie there, which I was missing. There's a family that I was missing. And it was like, and they were willing to take you in, flaws and all, which I thought was really cool.
Interesting. And then you meet everybody down, like you meet your band, but you weren't Matchbox 20 to start with. No. You guys were Tabitha's
Secret.
Tabitha's Secret, that's right. And then you do Tabitha's Secret, it's not working out. We shift, but it was three of you. Sorry, you have to remind me of the names.
Yeah, so me, Pookie, Brian, and Paul. And there were two guitar players.
Yeah.
They leave. It becomes litigious. It becomes a really, really bad scene.
Yeah.
And they try and sue me, and I didn't understand anything about songwriting. So every time I wrote a song, I would sign it over to the guys.
Yes.
And everybody.
Really?
I was so angry at the beginning that like all of the songs that we wrote, I just trashed, except for 3 a.m. I trashed everything else, and then wrote the first Matchbox 20 record in like 6 months after I got signed.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to have to deal with them being a part of that.
Do you ever think back to those songs back?
They were horrible.
They were,
yeah. It would have never happened.
Really?
Yeah, like it was the best thing that could have ever happened. So many times in my life, and as at my very advanced age, you can find these things out, that so many things that feel like the most horrible moment in your life you look back and you go, man, if that had not have happened, this wouldn't have happened, and this wouldn't have happened, and you
Because
wouldn't
it
be where
comes
you're
from
at.
like the growth,
Yeah.
right? And like,
Yeah, and it's also you're trying to manage expectations, but life isn't your expectations. It's going to play out the way it plays out.
Yeah.
And so you're just like it's your control, your sense of losing control. You're like, oh, I'm so mad because I wanted it to go this way, and then it doesn't go this way. It goes somewhere way better, and you're like, oh, I just didn't dream big enough for myself. I didn't see this happening for myself.
so you didn't dream big enough, like
Yeah.
you didn't think that you'd be where you
No,
are.
man, I wanted to go back and show everybody in high school that I was good.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Yeah,
never
yeah,
thought
yeah.
about sitting in Australia in a laundromat having a conversation about 30
Totally.
years.
I was actually laughing to myself in bed last night because I was like, this huge career has all led you to this laundromat in this
laundromat.
moment.
It's all here.
And I was like, that's just so funny that like somebody who
And
has
to be fair, I do have some laundry to do before when we're done here, just so you know.
should do it.
Yeah, I'm on the road. I got stuff going on.
That's the thing.
Before I get to Brisbane, I need to.
Totally. Then you do Matchbox 20, and you said in an interview that early on in those days you had to grow a thick skin quite early on.
Yeah.
That's all you said in that interview, and I was really curious as to why.
Well, I mean, we were really popular really quick for a second,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I mean, it didn't feel quick to us because we had been working at it for years.
What do you mean
and,
quick? What's a quick
Well, I mean,
time?
like if it just kind of felt like we almost didn't happen. Like we put out a first song and it didn't work, and we were out touring and we were playing clubs and for years.
Yeah.
And then Push came out, and it just really went really big, really quick from that point on. So to the outside world, it seemed like we were a band that just came out, put a song out, and just blew up. And we're pop rock, like. I didn't even listen to the music, the kind of music necessarily that we were making.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
And like, we were an easy punching bag to be like, oh, like this is the face of, like we were Nickelback before Nickelback was Nickelback.
Do you think so though?
I think, yeah, for a minute. Like I remember once we were out with Everclear.
Yeah.
And there was an article about their new record. And it was talking about how bad their record was.
Yeah.
And then just for no reason at all, it ended at the bottom with, but hell, it beats Matchbox 20 any day. And I was like, dude, we're not even a part of this. You're just picking on us.
Yeah.
You know? And like, bad impression. Like we had thick skin though, because we were a good band.
Yeah,
We were writing good songs. We were played really good. We did good shows. You know what I mean? And this was happening at a time where we were starting to do arenas all over the world. So it's like which thing am I going to focus on? Am I going to enjoy this ride that we're on, or am I going to just be like, I'm mad because nobody likes me?
Totally. That's so interesting. Sorry, was it Push or 3am, which was Push was the big...
Push was the first one,
Push was the first one. What do you remember? Because now when a song is big, it's big on TikTok, it's big on Instagram, it's big whatever. How does it happen over that back then in the 90s?
We don't, how like if you say like, oh, this is my phone and the size to scale is this.
Yeah.
Like now in social media age, you can always to scale.
Yeah.
You're like, well, this is my followers, and so I'm doing well, and this is my metric, and this is how I know da. Like we had no sense of what was going on. We knew that we would show up to an arena and it would be sold out. And that was kind of it. We knew that we were selling this amount of records, and that we were having this song was played all over the radio. But that was the only metrics that existed.
Totally.
I mean, it was, in some ways, it was like a traditional way that the music business works since like 1956. Like since Alan Freed did the first rock and roll show in Cleveland. Like you made a band. Labels came and checked out your band. If they liked it, they signed it, and they would put you on the radio. And if it played, you'd sell some records, and people would come see you, and that was your career. And then, not very long ago, there was a small shift that exponentially just kept getting bigger and bigger, and we're watching it happen in real time. Like all,
Totally.
like if you put out a record today, 3 years from now, that whole landscape's gonna probably change, and how you do that, and how people are consuming and taking it. So we were kind of lucky in that sense to come out at that last gasp of that normal, what we call normal. I mean, what's normal?
Yeah, totally. Because you also said that like you were a band that really blew up, but it was sort of by radio. Like when that was all happening, were you getting recognized in the street, or like did people know who Rob Thomas was? Like really?
Yeah, no, I mean.
So you can play arenas and then go to the coffee shop the next day and nobody, like, that's insane.
I mean, I could go like from the show probably to some of those, you know what I mean? Like,
really?
But it's like if you were a fan, but there was no residual to that, I mean, MTV was king.
Yeah.
So there was a sense of like, I think I might be underselling the idea. Like, I mean, it's true. Like when we go out, there would be like a, you know, if you spend too much time in one place, there would be a sense of like, and it was, you know, it would kind of go out. But I just don't, I can't imagine now. Totally. I can't imagine like Justin being 16 years old.
Totally.
And like
100%.
like every mistake. That was the thing too. Like we made mistakes and nobody saw them. We did things, you know, we learned.
Well, I always
from
think
things.
about, who was it? I can't remember. It was Kate Moss or Nicole Kidman. Somebody said it like we could go out and like go to the club and dance on a table and like be our free selves, and nobody would know.
I think that was the thing.
Know?
Like it's not that we weren't in a position. I mean, we were the first time that we ever were written about in Rolling Stone magazine was them writing about how we were this band that had sold like 10 million records, but nobody knew who we were, and that we were this faceless band, and so we were taking that as pride. You know, like we would write, like we would take bad reviews that people would write about us, and it shows we'd wear t-shirts and write quotes from the bad reviews and like wear those on stage.
That's cool.
And it was just kind of our like, you know, we're like, oh, okay, you're saying that our music is famous and we're not. That's pretty cool. You know, like we're okay with that.
Totally.
But like the idea that you could go out, you could get into a fight, you could just, you know, just maybe a drunk mess, especially here in Australia. And nobody was
like,
taking
welcome.
pictures of it the next day and like judging you your whole life for that stupid thing, you know?
Fascinating. What did you, because I was also wanted to ask you, like, this is just a self-indulgent question to indulge me. Because my favorite era of music is the time that you basically came up in, sort of early 2000s. I mean, you were a tiny bit before, but like the Strokes, as Kings of Leon, like.
Sure, yeah.
What's it like kind of being in that era? Like, what was that like?
Well, it's funny, first off, that you should say that, because I posted a picture last night of me and James Blunt at a party. And I wrote, you know, it's funny now, these guys from the 90s or something. And my wife, when I woke up, had reposted my post. And she was like, honey, you guys were early aughts, not the 90s. You know, she's like, get it straight.
Because you were,
like
you
it was,
absolutely.
you know, that was a much bigger time. We had one record that came out at the end of the 90s, and then everything else was kind of after.
Absolutely, and like the Strokes was like its first record was 2001.
Yeah,
so
and like other than the 80s when I was a kid growing up, my affinity and my connection always feels like that time frame with those bands.
Yes, yeah. Were you ever able to be watching those bands as they were coming up with smaller capacity?
Yeah. I mean, some of them, like bands like Maroon 5, and you know, like they opened for us when they first started.
That's
like,
cool.
you know, like we like Adam Levine gave me a platinum record when he first got his first platinum record, like to thank us for taking him out.
Wow.
Like, we get to see some of those things happen in real time, and also because it didn't seem segmented. So like, you would go to, let's say, like an MTV Awards show, and it was like, you're there. And you're talking to Andre 3000, and you're talking to No Doubt, and you're talking to Diddy. I don't know if you should
He was there. Yeah.
But you know, it was like, because MTV was our national radio. So like we would watch all of these different genres at the same time pop up. So like when we would all get together, there was a sense of like, oh, I know you, what's up, you know? Whereas now it seems a little more segmented. It's kind of like, you know, this is your group, and this is your group, and this is your group.
Do you miss that time?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always down for change.
Yeah, I like that.
I certainly don't want to be younger.
I don't know. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I think sitting at like 27 would be nice.
I would go for 40. 40 was like a nice spot.
Really?
Yeah.
Why 40?
I don't know. I feel like I had it all figured out to some degree, and then I had all this time ahead.
What is it like as well, having now playing, because you have your new record out, All Night Days, you know, you're performing to a crowd that have been with you. Like, what's it like growing with your audience?
My friend from my label was at the show last night, and she was telling me that, like, we pull out one of my songs called Ever the Same, and there was a couple that looked like they were probably in their 70s, like right in the front. And then when I started playing it, like one grabbed the other, and they just like started crying and hugging each other. And I was like, I know what music means to me. And I know how music is like, how I've used it to like kind of ease out wounds, you know, as you go along. And the idea that that could be something to someone else over that amount of time. Like, I've said this too many times, but like, when you think about a career and you think about success, the part that you don't factor in is what it might feel like to one day look out and like you're part of someone's nostalgia.
Yeah, well, because that's what, and I mean, we don't have to, if you've spoken about it to death, but I found it really fascinating in terms of like your new album, writing now for yourself and not writing to make a hit because you've got this creative outlet that you need to utilize, and fair enough, you're a creative, that's what you got to do, right? But like, what that that freedom gives you. But back then, were you writing for a hit, or was it the same sort of thing? Like, are you writing in different ways now?
I don't think that I could have been, because when we looked back at every stage with Matchbox, and even solo, like, we were always like the odd man out. Of we'd have a top 10 hit, but everything around it would be something different. It was grunge at one time, or it was all boy bands, or it was we were kind of a unique noise in any space that we filled. Like, you know, we had Unwell came out, it was like a huge hit, but it was like a big banjo intro. You know, it was just like, it was random. So I think, like, you know, I always just stuck with lyric and melody. And like, you write songs about things that you're going through that you know are universal, that other people are going through. Like, I write a song about like my wife and I having a fight, but you don't care about the fight. But if I tell you how I feel about that, you know that feeling. You've had that.
Totally.
And so I find that, like, it's the everyman vibe. Like, if you just write about your feelings, everybody on that level, like, I think on that level, everybody's exactly the same.
Okay, I've got 2 questions off the back of that.
Okay.
My first question is, where do you think, when you're writing, where do you think music comes from as, like, you're the vessel?
Okay, in my romanticized version of it has always been that it feels like a radio station that's playing above your head. You know what I mean? And you just hear a melody. And you start humming it, and it gets stuck in your head, and you're just like, what is that? What is that? What is that? And you're like, oh, that's nothing. That's me. And then you pull it down, and that's inspiration. And then you lay it down, and then you try and craft it out from there. You know, then you're like, okay, I've got this inspiration bit. Now, how do I, you know, turn it into a song? And that's the part, as you do it longer, you get a little better at it. Like, I believe in my heart that you can't learn to be a songwriter. Like, you hear them or you don't. But you can learn to be a better songwriter.
Like, you're just born with music.
Yeah, you're born with, there's some, that's why some, like, I think you could be a player. You can learn how to play an instrument, but there's reasons why some people are just fucking phenomenal. You know, because that's this thing that's in them. They were born to do that thing. Just like a chef, or just like an artist, or just like a writer, or, you know, I think that when anybody finds that part
of themselves.
Of themselves that, like, really is, I can express myself. Like, you know, you see, there's always that thing of, like, how can I tell you this without telling you this? Right? So it's kind of like, how do I show you myself without telling you who I am? And art has always been, I think, a good way to do that.
And I think everybody is a creative. Like, I think when people are like, I'm not a creative person, I just don't believe that. Like, I think that everybody is born with creativity.
It's easy, though. I mean, I think most of society and the universe, like, works really, really hard to either shut down that part of you or move you along so that you don't ever get to go explore that part of you. You know, you're so busy
It's the world we live in,
working and
right?
consuming, you know what I mean, that you don't really have that ability. Like, when my son graduated from, he went to Berklee College of Music, and when he graduated, my first probably bad fatherly advice was, okay, like, you're in it now, you want to do this, don't get a backup plan. Like, if you want to do it, you got to go into it. You got to go all the way down into it when it seems like it's not going to work out. And if it doesn't, you have to find something tangential to your dream. But you want to stay in the world of the dream that you have, and don't wind up doing something.
You think that was bad advice?
No. I don't think so at all.
I
mean, I think anybody else might think it is.
I don't think so either. I think you've got to throw yourself into it. 100%.
That's what we did. Like, I didn't have a backup plan. As I started going, all, like, college passed by, that opportunity. Like, entry-level positions at a career started passing by, you know, like, they just, and I was just like, it is a thin, thin line between being 53 years old, sitting talking to your new friend in a laundromat about your successful music career, and being 53 years old, you know, hoping my band takes off and sleeping on my friend's couch. Like, you know, either it could turn on a dime.
Totally. And I think as well, it's like, if you believe in something and you want it, like, enough, like, you've just got to have, like, that's got to be the,
and
you know.
Success is not the goal.
No, totally.
Living life, your authentic life, doing the thing that you love.
Because if success is the goal, you're never going to get there.
Exactly,
100%.
Because you never have enough.
What is success? And then my second question was, do you, with, like, your new record, write songs? Is your creative process any different has it changed over the course of X amount of years?
No. I mean, so I think that I write all the time. And, like, if by the time I make a record, I've probably written 3 records that no one will ever hear. So, like, let's say I just finished a Matchbox record, and I'm kind of starting fresh again. And I'll go, like, okay, once I've got 11, 12 songs, I'm like, okay, well, I have a record. If I want it right now, I can go make a record. And then around the corner, I write one song that I think is so much better than everything else. And I'm like, all right, I've got one song. Start over, you know what I mean? And you keep doing that until you kind of feel like you kind of realize like, oh, I was being lazy here, or this was just a nice little moment that But, part of that problem is that I can look back on so many different records over the last 30 years and be like, well, I like half of that record and the other half I can hear me trying.
Interesting.
I can hear decisions that I made that I would have made differently.
Your whole catalogue is insane, and obviously Smooth has like stood the test of time. But I was wondering, collaborating with Santana on that, I saw an interview where you said your ideal collaboration these days would be Miley Cyrus, or like one of at least.
Yeah.
Is that still, would you stand by that, or is there somebody else in the world?
No, I definitely, like, I think her voice is all time. I think there's an originality to it, and her songwriting, like, to be able to watch like her, and I see like Justin Bieber as well. Like that new Justin Bieber record is insane.
Yeah.
It is so good. And like when you see them, like watching them basically grow up, and we were watching in real time their career and their lives and all the turmoil and anything that was happening. And the fact that those two people were allowed to become the artists that they are right now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? That that Justin was able to, to make swag.
Totally.
And the fact that Miley could write "Used to Be Young." Are you kidding me? Like that song hits me in the chest every time I hear it.
100%.
Like I'm here for it. Like I just think that's really, really cool.
I could keep talking to you all day.
Yeah, this is a nice conversation.
So many questions for you. I guess let's wrap up.
Speed round. Go.
Okay, we'll go wrap up with. Why don't we wrap up with what Australian musicians are you loving the most?
Oh, okay. Well, my original all-time is In Excess. Those guys are my friends.
Yeah.
We've played with them, we've toured with them. They're my heart and soul, 80s kid all day.
Yeah.
But two bands, so on this run, I've been trying, like, I bring a band from Perth when I play Perth, a band from Melbourne when I play Melbourne, Adelaide. There's a band in Adelaide called Puree that just blew us away. Like we were out there just hands in the air by the end of it.
Love
like
that.
really great.
You went out into the crowd to work?
Oh yeah. We kind of snuck out to the back.
Love that. Yeah.
And then here in Sydney, there's I guess I would call her a country artist, but Fanny Lumsden.
Yep, love her.
Who is she's like everything that Lucinda Williams is.
Yeah.
Like she's that total package and this vibe, and her band is so good.
Totally.
And they look like they're having fun, which I think I'm leery when I see bands that don't look like they're enjoying the thing that they do.
Yeah, 100%.
Like don't get me wrong, if you're The Cure or Morrissey, that's part of the gig. It's okay.
Totally.
But you know what I mean? But if you're out there and you're playing music for people that want to see you play music, and you look like you're not having a good time, then give that to somebody else. Pass it over.
Totally. Agree. Well, thank you. Those great answers, and I'm going to share those with everybody because people love to hear about Australian music.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me here in the time.
Oh my gosh, I wish you could stay longer. This has been so awesome.
Yeah, me too. It's really fun.
Cool. Thank you so much,
Awesome.
Rob. Thanks.